Hey, what's going on everybody? This is Noble, and today we're going to be doing an updated version of the Black Rose Dragon deck profile. So this is one I just kind of wanted to come and revisit, especially with all the reprints and like the rarity upgrades in Legendary Duelist Season 2. I was really excited about that, and then also, just the support that we're getting later on this year with the Blood Rose stuff. I cannot wait for that. So I kind of wanted to do one more before we go back and update it again in a few months. So if you haven't played with the Black Rose Dragon deck, it's a lot of fun to play. Plant-based decks are pretty cool overall. There's not a ton of them out there, but they are a lot of fun. This is a very budget deck. You can pick it up for very cheap. I do recommend that you do so. Black Rose Dragon is pretty iconic in modern day Yu-Gi-Oh! For the most part. I'm pretty sure every duelist knows what this card does. But it also has another effect that people forget about, so we're going to get that a little bit later. But before we jump into this, I just want to say if you haven't already done so, now's a perfect time to subscribe. Hit the bell so you can become part of the notification team. Give this video a thumbs up, and let's jump right on into this Black Rose Dragon deck profile. Okay, to kick this off, we're going to be playing triple White Rose Dragon. Oh, also, I've had people ask about these sleeves. Imperium Duelist sent me these sleeves. I ordered some stuff, and they just gave it to me to be nice, and I was like, well, what better deck to put these sleeves on than my Rose Dragon? I'm a big fan. They're illusion effects, I believe is what they're called. They're pretty cool. They have a lot of different designs. You can go over to Imperium Duelist and check them out. So White Rose Dragon is really cool because what this card does is when this card is normal summon, you can special summon one Rose Dragon monster from your hand or graveyard, except under the White Rose Dragon. You'll use this effect. You can use each effect of White Rose Dragon once per turn. If you control a Dragon Tuner or Plant Tuner, you can special summon this card from your hand. So this bad boy is easy to get out into the field. And then if this card is sent to the graveyard as Synchro Material, you can send one level 4 or higher plant monster from your deck to the graveyard. So literally, if you get a monster out and use this as material, which you're probably going to anyway, you can Foolish Burial something, which is awesome. And then just being able to special summon another Rose Dragon from your hand or graveyard, 2 different spots, is really cool. When this thing is normal summon, it does a lot and it really helps out with the deck. Next up, playing triple of the Red Rose Dragon. Now this card's awesome. What he does, it might be my favorite actually. So if this card is sent in the graveyard as Synchro Material, you can special summon one Rose Dragon monster from your hand or deck, except under the cover of this card. Then, if it was sent for the Synchro summon of Black Rose Dragon or a Plant Synchro monster, you can also add one Frozen Rose or one Bloomin' of the Darkest Rose from your deck to your hand. You'll use this effect once per turn. So basically, a lot of times that's what you're going to use it for, is one of those monsters, like a Black Rose Dragon or a Plant Synchro. So being able to literally special summon something from the deck and then add a really powerful spell card, that's awesome. It really just helps out so much being able to do both of those things. Even if you just do one, it's really helpful. But being able to have the option to gain so much advantage off of just using this thing as Synchro Material, that's awesome. Oh, it's on the hour. Clock's going off. I'm only running one Blue Rose Dragon. I did bump this one down. I intentionally got the blue lettering one. I bumped this one down. I just don't use this one as much. It is still helpful. Do not get me wrong. I just don't use it quite as much as the other Rose Dragons. When this card is on the field, is destroyed and sent in the graveyard, you can target a Black Rose Dragon or one plant monster in your graveyard, and then special summon that monster. And that's not even soft once per turn. So if you do end up putting multiple copies into this deck, you can use all of them. I'm running triple of Rose Girl, which I was super excited when this card came out in Edco. Man, Edco was a while ago, wasn't it? My goodness, we're getting old, y'all. Okay, so what Rose Girl does is if a face-up plant monster or monster you control is sent to the graveyard, except during the damage step, you special summon this card from your hand. If a plant monster is on the field and this card is in your graveyard, you can add this card to your hand. You'll use one Rose Girl effect per turn and only once that turn. This card, it just does a lot. It recycles itself. It's easy to count into the field. It's a tuner. Go into your place. It just helps out with the consistency of this deck so much. And the consistency to go into your extra deck. Next up, I'm running triple of the Dark Rose Fairy. This one I like a lot. I kind of wish it'd get a super rare, or if it does have a super rare, I don't have it and I don't know about it. But if a tuner or tuners is special summoned except during the damage step, you can special summon this card from your hand. If this card is in your graveyard, you can send one card from your hand or field to the graveyard, and then you place this card on the top or bottom of your deck, and you use this effect. You'll use each effect of Dark Rose Fairy once per turn. Just literally just another way of helping the consistency of going into your synchro plays, just able to get this thing easily onto the board. And if this one is one, if you wanted to play 2 of, I've seen that done, you could. I think personally it's a little bit better at 3 in my opinion. I'm running 1 World Carat Weight Champion. I really like this card for some reason. I don't know why, I just really do. I think it's a funny card. But if this card is in your graveyard, you can send a plant type monster from your hand or face up from your field to the graveyard, accept another copy of this card, and then you special summon this card. You only use the effect once per turn. So just, again, easy to get out to go into your extra deck plays. Next up, playing double Evil Swarm Mandagora, however you say it. If your opponent controls no more monsters than you do, you can special summon this card from your hand. That's it. That's what this card does. And I'm about to say the same thing again. More consistent ways to go into your extra deck. We're easily getting things onto the board, if you haven't noticed. That's the trend here. Easily getting things onto the board. So, next up, playing triple. I mean, it's a plant deck. You literally cannot play a plant deck without triple Lone Fire Blossom. And I just think it looks really cool with the little hearts. I don't know, but I'm sorry. I really like these sleeves. I'm a huge fan of them. I didn't think I'd love them as much as I do. Once per turn, you contribute 1 face-up plant-type monster, including this card, because that's not, a restriction. And then you special summon a plant-type monster from your deck. This card is just phenomenal, and plant decks. It's just great. It's literally a whatever you need it to be, pretty much. Next up, playing triple Orphis Scorpio, and then also 1 Cobra. And I'm also playing 1 Spore. Spore's really cool. Spore's interesting to me because if this card is in your graveyard, you can banish 1 other plant-type monster from your graveyard, special summon this card from your graveyard, and increase its level by the level of that banished monster. Each player, interesting, can only activate the effect of Spore once per duel. So it's 1 per duel effect. But I use this card a lot, and it's really helpful to just the fact that it does that level manipulation. It's really awesome. Next up, playing double copies of Copy Plant. Once per turn, you can target 1 other plant type monster on the field that has a level, and this card's level becomes that monster's current level until the end of this turn. And that's what this card does. I'm also running 1 Mardell Generator Boss of Light. Now this is one I put into the deck. I didn't have it for a while, but I put it in here, and I've really liked it. I don't like, if you know me, you know there's 2 things about me. 3 things. I can't enunciate anything. I love archetype specific omnigates and negates, and I'm not a huge fan of decks that completely rely on the extra deck to succeed or get any type of big body monster out onto the field, because if you get locked out of it, you're screwed. So because of that, I really like Mardell. Mardell is a main deck option in a deck that's like heavily, basically almost completely extra deck reliant to be able to win. So I like being able to just, if I get locked out, have an option for the main deck is really cool. So what Mardell does is you can only control 1 of her, and if this card is normal special summon, you can add a generator or plant monster from your deck to your hand and set another copy of this card, and you'll use this effect once per turn. But she's just a bigger body as well. And there's also a ton of the big body rose monsters. There's a lot of different stuff you can put into this deck. I did not do that. There's different builds you can do. This is not the only Black Rose Dragon build. But yeah, I just kind of like Mardell in this deck. I think she works great. And then I'm also playing triple Ash because it's Ash. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Hand trap of choice, hand trap, most people's hand trap of preference. It really seems like if you want to run something else, hey, go for it. So that is it for the main deck, guys. Let's move on into the extra deck. For the extra deck, we're running triple Frozen Rose. Now, Frozen Rose is really cool. I'm glad this one got reprinted in different color letters too. I thought that was cool. But it's a quick play spell, and you send 1 face-up monster you control to the graveyard and apply this effect depending on the type it had on the field. If it's a plant, destroy during the end phase of this turn, draw 2 cards, then discard a card. So digging a little deeper into your deck, that's cool. And if it's a non-plant, add 1 level 4 or lower plant type monster from your deck to your hand. You only activate 1 Frozen Rose per turn. If that's a quick play spell, being able to activate during your opponent's turn, I do like that as well. It's funny, even before I made this channel, I ordered this playset of this way before I had the channel, and they were like $7 a piece. And I thought I was like, that's crazy expensive for a car. What in the world? Oh wow. Oh, how far we've come. Or how far we've fallen. I'm not really sure, because now that's like, $7. What? What? All right. Anyway, I'm opting to play triple Dark Ruler no more. I've threw this in, and I think this deck has really benefited from it because this deck is, you know, it has a lot of ways to get stuff into the board and go into your synchro plays, but a lot of times negates will hurt it. So having Dark Ruler no more, just being able to freely kind of go into your synchro summons is really cool. And also you can do that and then go into Black Rose Dragon and just nuke it. So I like that a lot. If you don't want to run Dark Ruler no more, you can really, literally replace it with something else. I'm also running double Mark of the Rose. I really like this card a lot. I don't see it played a ton, but I think it's hilarious. You activate this card by banishing a plant monster from your graveyard. Then you target a face-up monster your opponent controls and equip this card to it. And then you can take control of the equipped monster. And this is mine now. And then once per turn during your end phase, negate this card's effects until your next time phase. So basically what that means is you and your opponent are swapping control of it every turn. That's basically what this means. I think it's a funny card. I like it a lot. I really like taking my opponent's like monsters and their bigger monsters and saying this is mine now, it's a plant, and then being able to use that card for my benefit. I'm running one Black Garden as well as one Instant Fusion and then also one Foolish Burial. And then the one trap I'm playing is the one Blooming of the Darkest Rose. What Blooming of the Darkest Rose does is you special summon Rose tokens. They're plant, dark, level 2, attack and defense 800, in defense position to either field up to the combined number of cards in the field zones and field spells in the graveyard. If this card is in your graveyard, you can target one Black Rose Dragon or one plant monster in your monster zone, banish it, and if you do, place this card on the bottom of the deck. During the next standby phase, return that banished monster to the field. You'll use each of the following. You can only use this effect of Bloom of the Darkest Rose once per turn. So that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get on into the extra deck. So for the extra deck, we're playing double Black Rose Dragon, which I'm sure is a complete surprise to you, and then also playing double Black Rose Moonlight Dragon. So Black Rose Dragon, I'm pretty sure everyone knows this. When this card is synchro summoned, you can destroy all cards on the field, including himself, which kind of sucks, but whatever. Once per turn, but here's the effect I think a lot of people forget about. Once per turn, you can banish a plant type monster from your graveyard. Then you target a defense position monster your opponent controls and change that target to face up attack position. And if you do, its attack becomes 0 to the end of this turn. It's not used a ton, but it's there. And ironically, I've actually won a game recently with that, which I thought was pretty funny. Black Rose Moonlight Dragon is a little bit more interesting. If this card is special summon or level 5 or higher monster or monsters is special summoned to your opponent's side of the field, you target one special summoned monster your opponent controls, return that target to the hand. You'll use this effect once per turn. So basically it's a compulse. That's basically what happens. It does target, so there's that, but it doesn't destroy. It returns something to the hand or you go back to the extra deck. So it's really cool being able to get around that destruction and protection as well. So I'm running 2 and 2. If you want to mess around with the ratios, go for it. I'm also running double of the Garden Rose Maiden. I don't have a second secret rare. I need to get that. I really like the way that secret rare looks. It looks great. If this card is special summon, you can add a Black Garden from your deck or graveyard to your hand. You can banish this card from your graveyard, then target one Rose Dragon monster or one Dragon Secret monster in your graveyard, special summon it. You'll use each effect of Garden Rose Maiden once per turn. So this is a big reason I only run Black Garden at 1, because you can search it with this basically. If you wanted to bump that one up as well, you could do that. I'm also running one Queen of Thorns. This card's cool. Each player must pay 1,000 life points to normal special summon a non-plant type monster from their hand. This can really hurt your opponent very quickly. A lot of decks would just kill themselves basically in first turn with this thing. But yeah, I wish it was kind of like special summon at all, but I feel like that'd be really broken. So from the hand, that's still a lot, man. They'll have to think about it. And I'm also running one Borreload Savage Dragon, one Trishula, and one Herald of the Arclight as well. You can swap those out for anything else you wanted to do. I'm running double of the Crossroads Dragon. Crossroads Dragon is really cool because what it does is during the main phase quick effect, you can tribute this card and one plant monster, special summon a Rose Synchro monster, or one plant synchro monster from your extra deck. This is treated as a synchro summon, which is really cool. If a monster or monsters you control is destroyed by card effect while this card is in your graveyard, except during the damage step, you can banish this card and special summon a Rose Dragon monster from your graveyard. You'll use this effect. You can use each effect of Crossroads Dragon once per turn. And then lastly, of course, running one Hulk, one beautiful little Hulk, one Aroma Seraphite Jasmine, and then one sea monster of, I don't know how to say it, Theseus, for our Instant Fusion target. If you didn't want to run this in Instant Fusion, you can swap it out for something else. But yeah, guys, that's actually it for this deck profile. I hope you enjoyed it. The deck list wasn't crazy different from the last time, but it is still somewhat different. But like I said, I really just wanted to revisit this one before probably the next time I revisit it is when the Blood Rose stuff comes out, which I'm super excited about that. But the Black Rose Dragon deck is a lot of fun to play. Just being able to, the whole point is nuking the board and getting Black Rose and Moonlight out into the field and stuff like that. It's a lot of fun to play. There's a lot of different stuff you can throw into the main deck as well. You can throw some bigger bodies into the field if you wanted to do that. There's a lot of plant support out there, guys. There really is. And it's super cheap to make, so I do recommend you pick it up, especially with the reprint from Legendary Duelist Season 2 and all the rarity upgrades. It looks really good. So yeah, guys, thanks so much for watching. If you're here and you haven't already done so, now's a perfect time to subscribe. Hit the bell so you become a part of the notification. Give this video a thumbs up. And yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see y'all in the next video.